Namo Lohi Savariyandam, Namo Lohi Savariyandam, Namo Lohi Savariyam, Namo Lohi Savariyam, Namo Lohi Savariyavati Savanam, Omkara Mindu Sanyukta Nityam Jayanti Yogina, Kamadam Mokshadam Sri Omkaraya Namo Namo, Mangalam Bhagavane Mangalam Gautamurni, Mangalam Kunkundari Ujendra Musu Mangalam Namasanatipara. Swanubhutya Jathati Chit Svabhaya Navaya Sarvama Vibhava Nirusnitata.
Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Aryantanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Siddhanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Aryanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Ojjayanam. Om Namo Loye Sarvatrikavarti Savanam. Omkaram Bindu Sanyuktam Nityam Dhyayanti Yoginam Kamadam Moksadam Chaiva Omkaraya Namo Namah. Nama Samaysaraya Swanubhutya Chakasate Chitsabhavaya Bhavaya Sarva Bhavantarachide Agnanatimirandanam Gnana Anjana Salakaya Chaksurunmetam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Tirthankaro Jagatana Jayvantavarto Omkaranada Jinano Jayvantavarto Jinana Samo Sarana Sau Jayvantavarto Ne Tirthachara Jagama Jayvantavarto Namo Tirthanayakane Namo Omkaranadane Omkara Sangarutene Namo Te Sri Kunda Kundane Aho Upakara Jinavarano Kundano Dvani Divyano Jina Kunda Dvani Apya Aho Te Guru Kanano Aho Te Bhagavati Matano Dhruva Achalane Anupama Gati Pamela Sarve Siddhane Vande Kaho Sutta Kevali Bhasita Asamaya Prabhrata Are Hum Ek Suddha Sada Arupi Jnana Darasanamay Khare Kai Anyate Maru Jari Paramanu Matra Nathi Are Jam Netra Te Maj Jnana Nathi Karak Nathi Vedak Are Jane Jakar Modaya Nirajara Bandate Maj Mokshane Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Namah Siddhebhyo Om Sri Suddhatmane Namaha. Jai Jinendra. Today is January 4, 2017. This is our first class for 2017, year 2017. And also it's a beginning of our stanza 11 for Samaysar. Last time we talked about stanza 11, and we'll go further and see how the things are coming out. So without delay, I'll make my screen share. So we'll sing the stanza and then keep going, okay? Vavaharo buddhatho desido du suddhao buddhathamasiddo khalu sammaditthi havadi jivo Vyavaharanaya abhutartha darshita Sudhanaya bhutartha che bhutarthane asrita jiva sudrashti nishaya hoya che. Actually, this stanza is very simple. There are only two lines. And out of the two lines, the first line gives the most meaning. First line says, Vyavaharanay abhutartha darshit. Means conventional point of view is abhutarth, means it's not the right one. It's not the right one. And Suddhanay bhutarche, the pure point of view is a real one. So second line, one who depends on the pure point of view, he is having the pure vision. It's a simple stanza. But Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev took a really deep meaning from this first line alone. Conventional point of view is non-true. Pure point of view or the absolute point of view is a true state. Simple that one. And this is Kunkun Acharya Dev wrote down this stanza almost 2100 years back. And about 1000 years back, Amrit Chandra Acharya, he gave the commentary on this one. It has been said, Gurudev Sri has said several times, that Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, he had an extreme amount of intellectual, he's extreme intellectual. And he wrote down the commentary as if he entered into the heart of Kunkun Acharya Dev. And actually, Kunkun Acharya Dev, what he wanted to say, he takes that essence out and puts it into the words in front of us. That was 1000 years back, Amrit Chandra Acharya wrote down. And with our great fortune, Pujya Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, he further expanded this vision. And those things are available in front of us today. And that's what we are talking. Out of which we talked so many things in the beginning. Last time we talked, we mainly said that the pure point of view is partial point of view. And then it says, one second, let me minimize this. It says, the mode which knows the soul substance. Remember, action occurs in the modes. Soul substance is inert, infinite attributes are inert, no changes occur, they remain as it is, permanent, stable, nothing changes there. So only the changes that we perceive is in the mode, modification, paryay, transformation. And in that mode does two jobs. When we talk mode, infinite attributes are presented in this mode, but we are making only knowledge mode as a principle right now. And this principle knowledge mode has two functions, knowing alien objects and knowing the self. The true nature will occur when the mode starts looking at the eternal self, all-knower soul substance. So, in stanza 11, it said that mode which knows the soul substance means eternal, immutable, all-knower soul substance. That mode and the soul substance by itself are one and the same. My mode, I have a knowledge mode which knows the eternal, all-knower, immutable, indivisible soul substance. Mode does the function of knowing. So action occurs in the mode. But what is that action? Knowing the all-knower soul substance. So all-knower soul substance and the knowledge through the knowledge mode, both are same, and they are called pure point of view. That is the pure point of view, and that is the absolute point of view. And that's the one we talked last time at great length, so I'm not going to put time there. I'm just going to go to the other thing. I think we have done this one also. We have done this slide also, and this slide also we have done last time. Okay, so now it coming, today's topic, it comes that eternal true nature of the self is eternal, all-knower, immutable, indivisible. True nature of the soul is full of luster of pure faith, pure knowledge, pure conduct, and supersensuous bliss. Actually, these are the attributes that we are talking. Lust of pure faith is a faith attribute. Knowledge is a knowledge attribute. Conduct is a conduct attribute. Supersense of bliss is a bliss attribute. So these are the eternal, immutable, all-knower, indivisible soul substance has infinite attributes within. And we can describe that infinite attribute if we have to. But there is no need for it. Why there is no need for it? Because as long as you know these attributes, faith, knowledge, conduct, bliss, that means we know everything. For example, if we are given 2 bowls of white edible powder, and we have been asked, tell me what are these 2 powders. What do? Remember, both the powders are matter particles, and matter particles, they have the same number of infinite attributes as the soul. Infinite attributes are present in both the powders. What I did, it's an edible powder. I took the pinch of that powder, put it on my tongue, and I said, this powder is a sugar. How did I say that? Because there is a sweetness. This powder is salt because there is a salty taste. Now, that matter has an infinite attribute. We picked up only sweetness and said, this has to be sugar, this has to be salt. Similarly, in soul also infinite attributes, but we pick up faith, knowledge, conduct, bliss. And if we know these 4 attributes fairly in detail, then we know the eternal soul substance. And ultimately, when Samaysar progresses, Acharya Bhagavan, Kunkun Swami says, know only the knowledge attribute. That's it. You have to know only knowledge attribute. Knowledge attribute and knowledge more, and then you will know everything. So this is pure point of view, absolute point of view, or Swadhay. Means eternal true nature of the self, which is full of this attribute, is a pure point of view, absolute point of view, or Swadhay. Remember, in the last week we said that the total indivisible all-knower soul substance is a pure point of view because I am looking at it. So here we are now concentrating only on the eternal pure nature of the soul. That's an absolute point of view. Having said that one, giving the idea about the absolute point of view, now we are coming to the so these are the this is the meaning of the stanza right now. Now we are coming to commentary, Tika by Acharya Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev. He now expands these 2 lines, and I think about 70 to 80 pages lectures Gurudev has given. If anybody has interest, of course it's Gujarati, it's also available in Hindi. You can go through those things. Absolute great dissection of these 2 lines. Amazing clarity Acharya Bhagavan has given, and Gurudev has reproduced in front of us. So, author means over here, Acharya Amritchandra Acharya Dev says, CPOV, conventional point of view, Vyavahar nahi, is untrue or asatyarth. Conventional point of view is not a true statement. Satya means truth. Asatya means non-true, wrong, non-entity also we can say. Now, Acharya Bhagavan says conventional point of view is untrue. In that conventional point of view is perceived in the modes. Remember we said soul substance and attribute, they're inert. They don't react. They remain the way they are since time in infinite in the past and will remain same in the time infinite in the future. So they don't change. Only action occurs is in the modes. If you remember long back before we started Samaysar, we talked about 6 common attributes. And in those 6 common attributes, we said Vastutva Gun. What was the Vastutva Gun? 1 second. Let me just check that one out. Vastutva Gun was what? Just a second.
Astitva,
Vastutva.
Vastutva.
I'm just trying to, I'm just blanking out with the names, English name of it. Not objectivity, but just to give me 1 second. Vastutva. TUV. Gosh, I think my senior moments are coming at very fast now. Vastutva. Causal efficiency. Causal efficiency is a Vastutva Gun. Stop share. No, not stop share here. Okay, my slideshow from the current slide. Slideshow from the causal efficiency. What is causal efficiency means? A given substance has a Vastutva Gun. A given substance has causal efficiency attribute. All the 6 universal substances, they have common attribute called causal, just like causal efficiency. Means a given substance will have the modification which depends on the nature of that substance. For example, if it is a sole substance, then the causal efficiency attribute will bring the knowledge mode. If it is a matter substance, then it will bring the mode in the form of touch, taste, smell, and sight. If it is a dharmastika, then it will be the mode will be helping the moving objects. So on and so forth. So all 6 substances, they have their own specific attribute. So substance and modes are inert. So substance and attributes are inert, they don't do anything, but the modes are the one which shows the action. So that mode is showing action, but because it's transient in nature, it lasts only for one samay, one moment only. And that's why also it is considered as a untrue. Remember, big thing over here. Acharya Bhagwan is putting a bombshell over here that I am the soul substance. I have the knowledge attribute. I have my knowledge mode. I am the one producing knowledge mode. But because it's transitory in nature and my real nature is inert, immutable, eternal, I'm there forever. So eternity is given the importance. When eternity is given importance, then transient modes are also been said to be untrue, even though those modes are present within me. So what kind of modes are untrue here? Remember, we have gone through a great length in an absolute point of view and convention point of view. And so a given statement can be spoken in reference to certain things. So here we are talking eternal, all-knower, permanent soul substance is the absolute point of view. And when we compare to that absolute point of view in the form of eternal soul substance, then the transient modes even though they occur within me, are called untrue. These transient modes are made secondary. We make primary thing to the eternal soul substance. When the eternal soul substance is made primary, then even though modes are present within me, they are made secondary, and because they are made secondary, that's why they are called untrue. So that's a very, very important point. It's present within me. For example, this is a phone. This does, I can say this belongs to me. No, but it is the matter substance. It's away from me. It's not part of the soul. And so it could be, from soul's perspective, we can say that matter in the form of a computer or telephone or house or family or car, everything could be called untrue because they are not present within me. But here, the modes, which is a part of me, my existence, includes mode. But even that existence, if I put importance to my eternal soul substance as a primary object, as an absolute point of view, then modes, even though they are present within me, they are made secondary, and that's why they are called untrue. So remember, we have to understand the perspective. What perspective Acharya Bhagavan is using over here? The perspective is we are making eternal soul substance as primary. That's why it's true. In conventional point of view means everything outside objects are untrue, that's for sure. But even my transient modes, even though they could be pure modes, they can be called untrue. So we have to understand what perspective we are talking. So what kind of modes? If I have a rag and dvesh, I have an inclusive of attachment and aversion. It's a transient in nature, untrue, according to this perspective. Even my pure modes of samyak darshan is also called untrue, even though it's present within me. It's called, because I'm using perspective of eternal soul substance as primary. Acharya Bhagavan goes one more step. And what he says, even the Keval Gnan modes, even the omniscience mode, pure, perfect mode, because it's mode, because it lasts for 1 second, 1 samay, because it's transitory in nature. So compared to eternity, compared to permanent eternal soul substance, even that omniscience mode is also considered secondary, and it will use the word untrue. My God, my own omniscience mode is also untrue. Perspective. We have to understand perspective. And so this 11th stanza is a great example of using perspective of absolute point of view and conventional point of view. And once we are done with this stanza, we'll have an absolute discriminative power to understand why Keval Gnan Parya is also called untrue. Why Keval Gnan Parya is called asatyarth or abhutarth? Because perspective, eternal soul substance is my primary aim. Modes do exist, but making them secondary, and that's why it's said to be untrue. Modes are present. We are not denying the existence of the mode. It's there, it's present. But when we are comparing to the eternal soul substance, then the transitory nature, even though they exist, it has been called untrue. Because eternal true nature of the self is only true entity, means Satyar, according to 11th stanza, according to Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev, because that's what Kunkun Acharya Dev talked to us 2000 years back.
Kirit uncle?
Yes.
Just to be clear, અહીંયા true નો અર્થ શું લેવાનો?
Huh? True means a satyarth. It's a real entity. A real entity, and modes are considered a non-real entity.
Okay, so આજે ઓલું અસ્તિત્વ ગુણ જેમાં હોય એને સત્યાર્થ ગણવાનું, અસ્તિત્વ ગુણ વસ્તુ નો હોય એમાં.
Yeah, because eternal existence attribute is a attribute, and attribute is forever. It's eternal in nature, so it's called satyarth. It is called real entity because it's there all the time. It's there.
Okay, but, so from this point of view, the paryay is does not have astitva gun.
No. See, that's why, remember, I specifically said we have to understand what perspective we are using. Over here in Samaysar, mainly Acharya Bhagavan uses knowledge for 1 to 415 stanza. So knowledge attribute is a satyarth, true. All knower, eternal soul substance is true. But the modes coming out from this knowledge attribute, the paryay coming out from the gnan gun, gnan paryay, knowledge mode, because it's transient in nature, and it lasts only for one samay. That's why it is made secondary, and thereby it's called untrue. See, who is primary? Who is secondary? Primary is eternal substance, so anything else transiency occurring in the form of modes are called secondary, and thereby untrue. Untrue means this belongs to me. That's an untrue statement. This is not a right statement. But here, mode belongs to me. I'm generating the mode, but because it's transient, it lasts for one samay only, in contrast to the eternity of the soul, substance, and attribute. And that's why this mode is called secondary, and thereby untrue. Its presence is not denied, but it is simply made secondary. Does it make sense?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. So having said that, let's see now. Now conventional point of view, because this stanza is mainly giving us the idea about conventional point of view. Now we have gone through a great detail about conventional point of view, so we will recapitulate that one in a very short time, and thereafter what kind of conventional point of view Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev wants us to know, that's where we will be coming. So what was the thing we just found it out before? Asadbhut, Sadbhut, Upcharit, Anu. These were the 4 names were coming. So we'll just go, we'll refresh our memory for those 4 definitions. Asadbhut means impure synthetic. Sadbhut is pure synthetic. Upcharit is figurative. Anupcharit is a literal point of view. Impure synthetic means when things outside the boundary of the soul and is considered belonging to soul. This phone is mine. If I say that this phone is mine, but phone's existence is away from my space point, me as a soul space point. Soul space points are here, and phone space points are separate. But because their separate space points are there, but still I can, this is mine, this is mine, I love this one, I hate this one, I like it, I don't like it, whatever it is, I put my mindness, I put my ownership on this object, and so that is called asadbhut, impure synthetic. Sadbhut, things remains in the boundary of the soul, but is considered from artificial divisional perspective. See, these definitions, we have to keep it in our mind, because it's lots of things depends on understanding this definition. So, Sadbut means things in the boundary of the soul. What is a soul's boundary? Soul's boundary is a soul substance, attributes, infinite attributes, and infinite modes. Mainly three things in the soul's boundary. When I'm knowing something, I'm knowing this phone being present. So I did the function of knowing. Where did this knowing occur? Within the soul's boundary. In the soul's boundary, there is a knowledge attribute, and knowledge attribute produce the mode, knowledge mode. And that knowledge mode end up knowing that there is a presence of phone over here. So it is remaining in my boundary. For example, I have inclination of attachment. I have rag right now. Did the rag occur in my boundary, in the soul's boundary? Yes, because rag does not happen in this phone. Rag happens in a conscious element. Rag does not happen in this shirt. Rag does not happen in this glasses. Rag happens in my soul, me as a soul substance. In my boundary, rag is generated. So, thing remains in the boundary of the soul. That means even the rag occurring within me is called sadbut. Other thing, I have a knowledge attribute, and I do the function of knowing. Where is the knowing function occurs? In the mode. Where is this mode located? It's coming from the knowledge attribute. Where is the knowledge attribute residing? In the eternal all-knower soul substance. So my knowledge attribute in my knowledge mode remains in my boundary. So if I say I have knowledge mode, that means it's a sadbut statement, pure synthetic statement. Upcharit, figurative. Anupcharit. Upcharit, away from the soul or can be removed from the soul. Upcharit or figurative can be defined two ways. Away from the soul, this is my phone. This is away from my space point. So then when it's away from me, that is called upcharit or figurative. Or something which is present within me, but I can take it out. Means I can remove.
Kirit, uncle?
Yeah.
I think when you were talking about sadbut, pure synthetic, an example would be like my body, my arm, my leg.
That also you can say. Well, you know.
But if you go to Upcharit, figurative, metaphorical, that would be raga and dvesh.
Repeat that. See, remember.
The sadbut would be an example, would be like my body, my arm, my nails, my hair.
No, sadbut means from the soul's boundary. See, my body is a matter. Did matter enter into my soul substance? Matter remains matter, soul remains soul. We put oil and water together. However vigorously we move them, we shake them. Still, water is water and oil is oil. They always remain separated. Same way, matter, so body is a matter and soul is a conscious element. They both are entirely separate, even though they are together, appear to be together, but they are separate elements.
Let me just rephrase the question.
Yeah.
Upcharit is rag dvesh as an example. So then sadbut, which one would be an example of that?
Okay. We'll come to that one. Right now,
we just passed it. That's why I was saying is we just passed it.
No problem. Listen, asad, impure synthetic means outside the boundary of the soul. Means,
Right.
is my body outside the boundary of my soul? Soul is a soul. Soul space points are here, and body space points are here. Even though they are mixed together. Let's say that two lights in this room, yellow light and a blue light. Yellow light also illuminates the whole room, and blue light illuminates the whole room, and they both appear to be merged together. Not a single point of the room has devoid of blue and yellow light. Every space point of the room has blue and yellow light. But if I switch the bulb off on the yellow light, then all the yellowness from the room disappears. Blueness remains. So even though both are absolutely together, but still they maintain their individuality. Even the soul and matter, soul and body occupy same space point, but soul is a soul and matter is matter. And that's why they never become one, even though they are together since time infinite. So that's called asadbud. Are you with me? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, sadbud means things remains in the boundary of the soul. Means rag, where is it occurring? Within me, within soul's boundary. Of course, it's an impure mode, but still that mode belongs to the soul. I have a wrong faith. The wrong faith is an impure mode of the faith attribute, but still remains in the soul. I have a wrong conduct. Wrong conduct is an impure mode of the conduct attribute, but still it is within the soul. So when it's within the soul, then it's called sadbud. Knowledge occurring within me. Knowledge and me are remaining in the soul substance. So it is a sadbud. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, upcharit and anupcharit. Upcharit means something which is away from the soul, or something can be removed. Now, this phone is away from my space point of the soul, so that is called upcharit. Or something from the soul which is present in the soul but can be removed, can be taken out. So I have rag and dvesh, anger, deceit, ego, greed. They occur in the soul but can be removed. Anger never remains forever. It just quiets down after 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 day, 5 days, 1 month, 1 year. Ultimately, it goes away. Can you be angry non-stop, constantly, continuously? No. So it can be removed, and that's why it's called upcharit. Metaphorical, figurative. And anupcharit means having same space point as soul and having indivisibility with the soul. So these are the 4 definitions that we have to, we are refreshing our mind, because we took 7, 8, 10 classes on upcharit, anupcharit, sadbud, asadbud, everything. We are just recapitulating our memory from the past classes.
Okay,
So,
I got it. You know what? I read my notes incorrectly. Now I got it.
it's good. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So now, having said that, okay, this is the same thing as we talked. Now, conventional point of view. First, we took all the definitions. Now we are talking convention point of view. We are just again dividing in the hierarchy. Convention point of view could be sadbud, means pure synthetic, showing differences between virtue and virtuous. And it can be anupcharit, literal, real, or it could be upcharit, symbolic, figurative, metaphorical. That's a sadbud. Asadbud, impure synthetic, That same thing they have Anupcharit and Upcharit. This figure we have seen that before. And so the way we learn in the previous classes, so we give the example of all four things. How did we do? Upcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai. What did he say? This phone belongs to me. Car belongs to me. House belongs to me. Family belongs to me. They all are called Upcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai. Means symbolic, impure synthetic, conventional point of view. That we are revising what we learned so far, because it's very important to refresh that memory, because when Amrit Chandracharya starts talking, he's going to just take us to the deep into the soul, and he's going to ask us to throw away all the things that we know right now. So at least we have to know what is right thing that we learned. And now when Amrit Chandracharya Dev says further, he will go in extreme detail about it. So let's go take one thing at a time. Upcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai. Means car is mine, family is mine, house is mine, money is mine, my phone is mine, computer is mine. All those things which are away from me, but I have my ownership on it, and that's why it's called Upcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai. Okay, now Anupcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai means I am the body. I am the body, and me are same. I have ownership on this body. I have mindness on this body. Body is mine. Body is mine. Something happens to body, I as a soul starts getting discomfort and everything. So Anupcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai means body is mine, material karma are mine, and senses are mine. All those things are called Anupcharit, Asadbhut, Vyavarnai. Over here on the Sadbhut side, Upcharit, Sadbhut, Vyavarnai means I have inclination of attachment, I have inclination of aversion, I have anger, deceit, ego, greed. Those are the things occurs within me. That's why they are Sadbhut, but they can be removed. That's why it's Upcharit. And they are different subjects, different material. That's why it's called Vyavarnai. It's present within me, but can be removed. Rag, Dvesh, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh. Because it's present in a soul substance, soul sphere of action, Sadbhut. And because they are considered two entities, different entities, that's why it's called conventional point of view. And Anupcharit, Sadbhut, Vyavarnai, literal, pure synthetic, conventional point of view. Soul has a knowledge, soul has a faith, soul has a conduct, soul has a eternal existence attribute, soul has other attributes are present. So all these infinite attributes present within me, or the modes present within me, they are having indivisibility with the soul substance. So they are present, they cannot be removed. That's why Anupcharit. But because we made this knowledge, faith, conduct, etc., all the infinite attributes, they are in the unison. They are in the indivisible state with the soul substance. But we created artificial division. So even though it's present within me, but it shows difference between virtue means an attribute and virtuous means soul. Soul and attribute, it creates a division. I have knowledge attribute. I as a soul substance has a knowledge attribute. So I divided those two. In fact, both are in the indivisible state. And that's why it's called Anupcharit, Sadbhut, Vyavarnai. That's what we learned before. So having some background information with us, Now we go something about, this is kind of quick revision of those things. Upcharit, 1 second, hold it. Okay, here. Upcharit asadbhut vyavahar nahi means convention point of view with figurative point of view expressing unity of the distinct entity means house, money, family, etc. Then Anupcharit asadbhut vyavahar nahi means convention point of view with literal point of view expressing unity of different substances. Here, body, senses belong to me. That kind of thing will come. Upcharit sadbhut vyavahar nahi, convention point of view showing metaphorical expression of synthetic, pure, real, true point of view expressing difference between impure modes and virtuous one. Impure mode. Over here, what is important here? Impure mode. Here, impure mode means it is the rag, dvesh, krodh, man, maya, lobh, etc. So, in case of attachment belongs to me, that kind of sentence is upcharit sadbhut vyavahar nahi. And last one, anupcharit sadbhut vyavahar nahi means conventional point of view with literal point of view showing expressing difference between pure virtue and virtuous one. Here there are impure modes where there, here pure virtue and virtuous one in an indivisible identical soul substance, and that means it is knowledge is me. So this is what we have learned. This is what our basic information is with us. Now Amrit Chandra Acharya comes in the picture and says, okay son, you learn all these things, but I'm going to throw some curveball to you and see whether you survive or not. So here, in our old picture, we are going to quickly revise those things today. Or we still have 15 more minutes. Okay. So this is the soul substance. This is the knowledge attribute. This is the knowledge mode. This is knowledge mode. And this knowledge mode, shape of the knowledge mode occurring by itself. Whatever happens in this knowledge mode occurs because of the knowledge mode's own capacity to create the picture. Mirror has a capacity to reflect whatever is in front of it. You put a fire, it will reflect fire. If you put dirt, it will produce dirt. If you put snow, it will show snow. When mirror is showing the fire, mirror doesn't become fire. Mirror is showing snow, mirror does not become snow. It just reflects, it illuminates. So here, this knowledge mode decided by itself that I would like to have a reflection of a peacock within me. So it did occur, but while the peacock illumination occurred, there was a real peacock also present, and that was object of knowledge. Means it's called gnay, object of knowledge. That object of knowledge remains an instrumental cause, and because this is instrumental cause, it shows reflection. But remember, the knowledge mode made the shape of the object by itself. Here, this remains in one cohesive unit, and with its own way, knowledge mode created this picture, illumination. At the time, there was a presence of object outside, but object did not do anything. It remained as an instrumental cause only. For example, if somebody argues that just because peacock is present, that's why there is a reflection occur, right? Well, just because peacock is present, then why there is no illumination in the wall? because wall has no capacity to illuminate by itself, while this mirror has a capacity to illuminate. The primary virtue is over here, illumination. And that's why this guy simply remains as an object of knowledge, instrumental cause only. And we have known this figure from before. Now I'm throwing something more here. Instead of a peacock being present as an object of knowledge, we are bringing in influence of attachment is known as object of knowledge. Rag occurring within me. Rag occurring within me because rag is transient, because it's produced while looking at the fruition of the karma. So rag is also called object. And because the rag is produced due to mode looking at the fruition of karma, rag is looking at the fruition of karma, and that's why the rag occurred within me. Simply rag occurred within me because my mode decided to look into the fruition of the karma. And that's why, because this fruition of karma present, because fruition of karma present, and rag occurred. So here is fruition of karma, and here is rag occurring. If there is no fruition of karma, rag cannot occur by itself. So this fruition of karma is the one, is instigator, but it works as an instrumental cause, and mode by itself, just the way mode creates the illumination of the peacock, it also creates the illumination of the influence of attachment, and here becomes influence of attachment is reflected in my knowledge mode. This is extreme minute point that we have to understand to progress further into this stanza. So if this peacock was an object as an instrumental cause only, now definition, revision of definition, instrumental cause. When action occurs in the principal cause, over here the illumination into the knowledge mode, when action occurs at the time, favorable situation present is called instrumental cause, which does not take reaction into the principal cause. Gujarati definition: ઉપાદાન થી ઉપાદાનમાં કાર્ય થાય ત્યારે અનુકૂળ પરિસ્થિતિનું વ્યક્તિ વિશેષનું હાજર રહેવું તેને નિમિત્ત કહેવામાં આવે છે. નિમિત્ત ઉપાદાનમાં કાંઈ કાર્ય કરતું નથી. So English again. The principal cause, principal action occurring within me, here the illumination of the peacock as a principal act occur within my knowledge mode. At that time, the object, the peacock present is called instrumental cause, and the peacock did not take care of anything in this reaction. Simply it was present as instrumental cause. Same way, when inclination of attachment, rag is object of knowledge, same as peacock. Then rag gets reflected in my knowledge mode. So what does my knowledge mode do? My knowledge mode end up knowing presence of rag, inclination of attachment. Actually, my knowledge mode produce illumination by itself of the rag in that mode, while rag is present as an instrumental cause. In our mind, simply remove this original peacock with an influence of attachment. So this guy, object of peacock, doesn't do anything except is present as an instrumental cause, and the actual action occurs in the knowledge mode. Same way, rag is simply present as object of knowledge, and here there is a presence of influence of attachment as reflection. There was a question, I think.
Yeah, Kirit uncle, how is this different from what we discussed in Gatha 6th and 7th?
Same. It's the same thing. Nothing different. We are just put, instead of peacock, now we are bringing rag right now. That's only the things. Is that point clear? Because this is very critical point at this juncture, because everything builds up on this picture.
Yeah, what is Kirit uncle? This third sentence, inclination of attachment is known by someone else.
Means knowledge modes end up knowing the inclination of attachment. Inclination of attachment has no brain, no consciousness.
Right.
It only can be known by somebody else. Somebody means the knowledge mode, means conscious element only can know rag. See, over here, this is the whole conscious element. This whole red circle is a conscious element. And the knowledge mode has a capacity to know, and that's why it ends up knowing the inclination of attachment. Does it make sense so far? Any questions so far? Then raise the question, because then the next slide is coming, is going to be a little bit, and I would like to finish the next slide also, so because they are related to this one. Okay, noted. Then I think I'm going to go to the next one. Here, now, Vyavarnai is a convention point of view. Now we are talking inclination of attachment. Remember, here in the previous stanza, previous slide, what did we say? Now take the peacock out. Just put the inclination of attachment as an object of knowledge. Then all the knowledge mode ends up knowing inclination of attachment. So now, from that point of view, Vyavarnai means, now Amrit Chandracharya opens his trump card and talking to us. He says, Vyavarnai means inclination of attachment getting illuminated in the knowledge mode, coarser and finer form. I'll have to go back to the previous slide, so that way it will make sense. This inclination of attachment is getting known in the knowledge mode. So we are talking from rag perspective. Rag is over here, and it is getting known into my paryay, in my knowledge mode. Rag is over here, and it is getting known here. Same thing here. Peacock is over here, and peacock is getting known over here. Remember, we said action occurs in the mode, but over here we are giving importance to the peacock first, original peacock. Peacock is here. That's why I got the illumination within me, which is not a true statement, but we want to talk from conventional point of view. So peacock is over here and reflection occurred. Rag is over here and reflection occurred. So that's what is talking over here. Inclination of attachment getting illuminated in the knowledge mode. Now, the two types of rag, inclination of attachment rag, two types of rag are there. Coarser form of rag and finer form of rag. What are those two words means? Coarser form of rag means I am making rag right now. I'm aware of rag getting generated within me. I'm aware of it. I have knowledge about it. So that's a coarser form of rag. And finer form of rag, it is so subtle that even knowledge mode is not able to pick it up. It's a very subtle form. So subtle form and coarse form, the two forms of rag are present.
એક મિનિટ કેમ એવું કીધું knowledge mode can't pick it up?
Because the knowledge mode has limitations, because, for example, the knowledge present in the lowest form of light is so, means niggard, it is so minuscule, teeny tiny less than that. That means that that soul will become non-living practically. So that never happened. So the expressivity of the knowledge, expressivity is minimal in that lowest form of life.
Kirit uncle,
Yeah.
I had a little problem with my internet. I missed the definition of coarser and finer form.
We are just talking right now.
Okay, all right.
Coarser form means my knowledge mode has lived. For example, Chirag, you're a nuclear physicist. You know everything about physics. How much do I know about that physics? I don't know that part. So my knowledge is limited. How much do I know about stock market? Somebody is in the stock market, he or she knows everything about it. I don't know much about it. But whatever I know, I may end up making mistake also. So my knowledge is limited in those things. So knowledge expressivity, knowledge attribute is full, complete, but expressivity occurring in a different subject in a different way. Intensity is different because there is the intensity difference is there, and my knowledge is not omniscient knowledge, which is a pure perfect knowledge. So I am somewhere between 0 and 100%. So I have incomplete knowledge expression within me. And because it's an incomplete expression of knowledge within me, so some of the rag I know it, and some of the rag I'm not able to perceive it, even though it's present. So there are two names given in the scripture. Buddhi Purvakno rag means a coarser form of rag that is known by the knowledge mode, and Abuddhi Purvakno rag means the finer form of, subtle form of rag, which knowledge mode is not able to pick it up, because the knowledge mode is not complete. Knowledge mode is partial. Knowledge mode has partial expression of knowledge is present right now. If I'm the omniscient Lord right now, I will know everything, coarser form of influence of attachment and finer form. Of course, omniscient Lord does not have rag at all, but omniscient Lord will be able to know rag in everybody else present in a minor form or major form. He will be able to perceive in somebody else's soul. Here, my soul is not able to perceive because my knowledge mode's expression is not complete. So some form of rag I end up knowing, and other form of rag I'm not able to know it. Coarser form of rag is perceived, and finer form of rag is not perceived. So coarser form of inclination of attachment is called Buddhi Purvakno rag. Means intellect can pick it up, Buddhi Purvakno rag. And finer form of rag, subtle form of influence of attachment, cannot be picked up by the intellect, and that's called Abuddhi Purvakno rag. Means because that I'm not able to pick that one up, even though it's present. So that's one. Now, second point coming. So now think about it. You know, you are going to have a dizzy spell right now. This kind of two forms of rag, coarser form of rag and finer form of rag, coarser form of rag, influence of attachment, and subtle form of influence of attachment, they both are object of my knowledge. And so they both are called asadbhut upcharit and anupcharit vyavhar nahi. Remember, previously we said upcharit asadbhut, my house, my money, my family, my car, forget about those things. Amritchandra Acharya Dev says, remember, I don't want you to get out of the boundary of the soul, and I'm going to put all those 4 points of Vyavarnai within the boundary of the soul itself. So, influence of attachment occurs within me, right? Yes. coarser form of increase of attachment, I can pick it up. Yes, I became angry. Yes, I became greedy. Yes, I'm a cunning person. Yes, I'm possessive. Yes, I'm having the rag. Yes, I have dvesh. I perceive those things. But certain forms, they are below my intellect to pick it up. And so they are finer form of rag. And so those both the things are called asadbhut, upcharit, and anupcharit. Next slide. Knowledge mode. Now again, it's a very googly ball is coming, very curved ball is coming over here. Over here, what it says, increase of attachment is getting illuminated, means increase of attachment is over here, and it's getting and it is getting known into the knowledge mode. Increase of attachment is present and it's getting known. It's present, getting known. That's upcharit, anupcharit, asadbhut. Now here, tables turns. Here, increase of attachment was present and knowledge mode was knowing. That's this first part. But now, knowledge mode ends up knowing because increase of because knowledge mode has own capacity to know. So knowledge mode ends up knowing presence of influence of attachment. So in the previous, let me just go back to previous slide. So in this one, increase of attachment is present, and that's why it is reflected upon. That's a first night. Over here, I created the picture within me because myself, and at the time this guy is present. So looking from two different angles, from object perspective and from subject's perspective. Here, if I say rag is present, and that's why I know it, means I'm giving importance to the rag. Here, I said I created picture here, illumination here, and at that time this guy is present simply. So I'm making this one as a principal thing. So same thing we are talking over here, that increase of attachment was illuminated. That's why asadbhut, upcharit, or anucharit. And knowledge mode knows rag by itself because knowledge mode has an alien illumination property. Knowledge mode has a capacity to self-illuminate and alien illumination. So it is alien illumination properties present, and that's why this rag is getting known here. I'm knowing because of my own capacity of knowledge mode to have alien knowing capacity, the alien illumination property. And that is called sadbhut upcharit. And last one, knowledge mode knows the soul substance because it's a self-illumination property, because knowledge mode also has a swa-prakashak capacity, and with that thing, it is knowing the eternal soul substance. That's a sadbhut anupcharit. I know it is it's really difficult to understand right now, but at least I want to finish this slide. Next week, we'll be going to in great depth to understand this four.
This is just the same pattern as before. From Gata 6 and 7, you remove the peacock, you put rag in.
Yes.
And from the last 2 months with the different Vyavahanes, you just removed, like you said, the money, the house, the rag, the body, all that, the car. You removed all that stuff and you're putting in rag.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the same thing. Because remember, Samaysar wants to stay within the soul boundary and establish all these four knives, you know. So upcharit, asadbhut upcharit and anupcharit, it came from the rag, coarser form and finer form. Sadbhut upcharit, knowledge mode ends up knowing the rag, and sadbhut anupcharit, knowledge mode knows the soul substance. We'll stop over here. We are already going for 10 minutes above our time. And next week, we'll review this slide and we'll go further detail. I'll assure you, you will have a pretty good idea when we have the pictorial form coming next week. There is it turned out to be a great slide, so we will love it. Okay. All right. Any question we can entertain? And I'm sorry for taking more time, but I wanted to have something to progress right now. So the mainly 11 stanza is this slide, if you can understand that part, basically.
એટલે કીર્તન આ knowledge mode ની વાત થાય છે એટલે this is વ્યવહાર નહીં અને later when we get to નિશ્ચય knowledge mode નું that won't be primary anymore.
Yeah, but remember, mode is a transient, and that's why compared to eternity of the soul substance, transient mode is called vyavahar, conventional point of view. And so over here, everywhere we just say knowledge mode. Over here, knowledge mode. Knowledge mode. So they are knowledge mode, and that's why they are conventional point of view. Yes, it appears to be a little bit hard. Don't worry. It will be much easier next week. I can assure you. Believe me. Okay? All right. We'll do the closing now. Javani ke gyan se suje lokalo, sovani mastak namo sada deta hu. 9 times Namoka mantra. Mitchandikram, thank you. Thanks. We'll see you next week, okay?
Thanks, Kirit uncle.
Thanks, babe.